Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
Well, Peter, we know for sure God has a sense of humor.
Huh? I don't quite follow.
Just look around a little. People everywhere are trying as hard as they can to get more money and more earthly stuff. The more they want it, the more noise they make, the more they elbow their way in. But Jesus says that it's those who do the exact opposite, humble and quiet, who will end up owning it all. It's almost funny. And Peter, when you think about it, that's not really something new. Remember how Jesus summed up the scriptures and the law?
I do. We should love God with all our hearts and all our being, and love our neighbor as ourselves.
Which is the opposite of elbowing our way in and grabbing something for ourselves. And you know the promises in the Torah, how there is basically no limit for how God will bless those who humble themselves under Him and keep the law. God blesses those with the things that others struggle and fight so hard to get. It's actually strange that more don't try God's recommended approach.
One moment there. God blesses them with things that others struggle and fight so hard to get. Have we thought about that?
Matthew, maybe the real problem is that not very many people really believe in God.
Huh? How do you mean?
Well, if I believe God lives, and I believe that He is a righteous judge who cares for me and my concerns, then it's easy to be meek. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I see your point. My will gets crossed, but then I'm looking in God's direction, and I'm able to be gentle and patient. I can bear it when things are distressing or unfair. My reaction isn't a result of my humanness, but it's heavenly. It comes out of my confidence in God. So in a way, you can say my response is like from another world.
And I'm open to hearing what others have to teach me. And I listen to my own conscience, of course. I'm not set on my own way of thinking.
Exactly. And on the flip side, if I don't trust that God will take care of my matters, then I have to take things into my own hands. And at least for me, I know that leads to a lot of mess and trouble. It is no happy life that way. A person gets more and more cranky and dissatisfied, always worried and always defensive and fighting for their rights.
And think what a help meekness is. We all run into difficult people and difficult things, but meekness makes it possible to manage all that with peace and joy on the inside.
That has got to be good for my health, too.
Oh yeah, very good. And most of all, we really need meekness if we're going to hear and receive God's word. If I'm actually meek and I end up in a difficult spot, then I have to stop and think, what does God's word say? I can't just throw out some response without thinking about it.
I have to stop and think. What does God's word say?
But Peter, like you were saying, that's the opposite of how many people think today, even if they consider themselves believers. I saw it a lot as a tax collector. It is so natural to demand and insist. We're pretty much taught not to back down.
Fishermen don't like to bow to anyone either.
No, it's probably true for almost all of us. And you can be really looked down on for being meek, mild, and gentle. We're supposed to demand respect, deserved or not.
But we saw the way Jesus had authority with the scribes, the Romans, and everyone else. When he saw others who weren't being treated right, or when God's name was dishonored, he was more of a warrior than all the fighter types I've ever met put together. But with Jesus, his meekness showed through, even when he was fighting so fervently for God. He wasn't provoked personally or irritated. he was obeying God then too. You could always tell that Jesus had an inside peace, even when he was attacking the Pharisees. He even said, "I am gentle and lowly of heart."
He wasn't provoked personally or irritated. He was obeying God then too.
Right, and we were to learn from that. And then we will inherit the earth.
Yeah, whatever that's supposed to mean, Matthew.
I think it's like this. When a prince is going to inherit a country from his father, that means he'll be ruling that country eventually. The meek will inherit not just a country, they get the whole earth. Maybe that's because they'll be the only ones really capable of ruling it.
Wow, right. And what an awesome thought. Be meek now, and later we'll be able to help and guide to govern rightly. Yeah, I want that too.
Does your heart warmly beat? Do you gladly embrace opportunities God sends your way? Are you faithful to daily make use of God's grace? Or do chances slip by you each day?
If you're spoken too harshly, deprived of your right, can you answer with meekness and love?
If you're free from yourself, then your burden is light.
Don't forget you have Father above.
If you're free from yourself, then your burden is light.
Don't forget you have Father above.
Are you finished with envy and jealousy grew? Are you finished with pride and excess? If you walk with your God, then you'll live by this rule. You'll rejoice at your brother's success.
Do you take up much space at the other's expense? Will the stool in the corner suffice?
Oh, our time here on earth is so short, my dear friend.
He who makes himself small is wise.
Oh, our time here on earth is so short, my dear friend.
He who makes himself small is wise.
If you fall like a seed in the earth dark and cold, there in secret to die come what may. Soon the winter will pass and new blossoms unfold, and with joy you will go on your way.
Though of lowly estate will your lot be content, if you're faithful, you'll blessedness find.
Right before you are works just for you they are meant.
Serve the Lord with a good, humble mind.
Right before you are works just for you they are meant.
Serve the Lord with a good, humble